Hello everybody, welcome to your May 30th, June and beyond Saga update, live stream recap, and hopefully a lot less than the stream itself went for. The live stream itself went on for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and this is the promo code right here. It's called MCOC June. Kabam explained that the way that the drops were done was like that it should be working as intended, but I did find that the first drop, when you tried to claim it, it did not work. So that's something that's still there that Kabam need to rectify, and of course they didn't rectify it from the previous time. They first of all laid out what the live stream would cover, which was going to be all the new things with the Saga quest, and also there's also something else that you didn't see a visualization, and that was the Ironheart 7-day login calendar. So you at least get an opportunity for that character, which looks like it's 11th of June to like the 1st of August. That's a long time for the that's a long than a 7 daily live. 7 daily login calendar. So I don't know, maybe there's a typo there, or there's something, I don't know, something coming soon. Dates, man. Okay, also the last call for the Lumatrix Light Essence trade-in, June 4th, for those people that want their dates on things. There's also a massive L because the live stream on YouTube didn't work as intended, so it was only on Twitch for those that wanted to kind of like, you know, get that sorted. So a bit disappointing. But anyway, secret codes, Kabam revealed the structure for that. I don't know what the codes are, wasn't really paying attention, so that's that. And of course with the new Saga, Kabam did actually give an indication, or kind of like Karate Mike was like, no, it's not Fantastic Four, and it turned out to be Fantastic Four. So the answer now is don't trust Kabam Mike, Karate Mike for stuff. There's a lot of things that are happening for the new Saga as well. I think it's very exciting. We've got a new special rotating Saga Boost. I'll go over that in a second. The Saga themed raids, Alliance War Encounter Showcase, usual things, and Incursion Saga sector. We always have that. New Saga Chase Champion, new Eidol Chase, Saga Sale. The Saga, it's weird because there's a bit of like nothing that's not 100% clear about what the Saga Sale is and the Heatwave Sale. Effectively, it's the July 4th deals. It's just rebranded in a certain way. So maybe that's the Saga Sale. And a Saga themed meta event and Rebirth event. And there's more. So we'll look to see what exciting things are coming our way. Kabam released a really decent trailer. This is probably one of the most funnest trailers that they've done in a little while. I think this is live now, so you should be able to see it. That was really cool. Yeah, that little cool trailer. There is going to be these special Saga, like for June. There's one for July, one for August, and I assume one for September. So they're all situated around. Well, June is Thing. July is another champion. I'm going to assume July is going to be Human Torch and an Invisible Woman for the next month, and then after that will be like that. We have got, I think Invisible Woman's getting a buff. I keep saying it in my mind, but I'm like, is that right? So it could tie into what that will be. Anyway, there will be the standard bonuses and boosts that you get from any Saga, plus these little added kind of like extras where you effectively, all champions get to enjoy certain elements of certain champions. So blocking an attack or being struck grants 1 rock stack. Well-timed blocks grant 5 rock stacks, max 15 rock stacks, increased physical and energy resistance by 100. Activating a special consumes all rock stacks. Fury passives, blah blah blah. It's kind of like, well, that's, I don't know if like all champions you faced off against, especially because of all like events and side quests. So this isn't going to be anything affecting in battlegrounds. It's going to be very much events and side quests. So a nice added boost to your champions, especially if they're Saga orientated. So that's really kind of fun. Like I'm adding into that. So this is a benefit to you as you play. So hopefully you don't face off against some of these champions that are Saga orientated, because you'll be like, well, it's a bit annoying. But yeah, it is what it is. So we are seeing a special chase. I think a special chase for Mr. Fantastic as a 7-star. So yeah, you can earn a Mr. Fantastic 7-star, but you need research. And that is your new chase thing. Like Dark Plumes, like Rune Stones, that's how you're chasing for that. There is in the Discord a chase infographic, which we're going to put on screen now. You should be able to see that and how you get it. and the volumes. We'll be breaking down a lot of things over the coming days on the extent of how you get this champion and what you can miss out on, what you do need to kind of like do, because again, that's going to be important. I didn't really like the way that Dark Plumes was structured versus some of the other ones in the past, but it is what it is. And of course you can see there with the volumes, and yeah, we just need to see like what can we miss out on, what do we have to do, and also some events teased like that. Future Foundation event, what is that? We still need to find out. There's I think that's really it. There's nothing really on that one. There is also Captain Britain Double Track. Captain Britain's getting a rework. We'll talk about that in a second, because there was a lot in this live stream. Yeah, there's also a special type of sale which was teased, and Kabam had to like reaffirm something with that sale, which is it this one? It's slightly mentioned here. So what this is something to do with, it's like Fluctuating Box. I'm still unclear on what this does and the extent of like, do you pay a certain amount of money and you get access to this special fluctuating box type thing, similar to like a banquet key thing? Need more clarification on that one, because it wasn't really clear. It starts on June 4th, which is actually, I think, just before. No, it is on the day, launch day. So I'm interested to find out what this is all about, but I don't know if this is more of a spenders thing than it is like a free-to-play thing. More on that, I think, to come in the future. So the July 4th deals have been repackaged into something new, which is the Heatwave deals, Heatwave event. Extra items in cash offers. This launches on, my prediction was that it would be like June 27th it would launch, because Kabam's live stream would be on July 7th for the events. So that was what we were kind of like anticipating if you've been following the channel when I've been doing stuff. Actually, no, this is different. No, it's running differently. I tell a lie. It's actually like running longer in that it ends. It goes for more than a week. So that's surprising. The Kabam don't normally do that, but that's running for 7, 8, 9, 10 days for the Heatwave deals. So that's a new thing. July 4th deals and other types of deals, Cyber Weekend, have normally run for just 7 days, but they're running this for 10 days. There's extra items in cash offers, unit-based offers. There's a CCP promo code, so come back to the channel in June 27th for some free codes, I guess, because we'll be doing that. Also, Human Torch is a 7-star, first availability. I am jealous of anybody that's able to pick it up, because that is one champion I'd love to get, but I don't spend any money in the game, and I'm definitely not forking out a load of units, and it will effectively be spending in order to grab it as early access. I wonder whether or not it'll enter things like the Titan Crystal at some stage. We'll have to see. There was a little bit of footage showcased of the champion in action, but it was honestly on for like it's actually there, but it was on for such a microsecond that you couldn't really kind of get any kind of like logical kind of distinction of what's going on. You couldn't have a look at the ticks. I mean, you could see things like the Nova Flame on the champion, which you can see right there. I suppose you can see some of the ticks, like 957 per time. But yeah, it melts. Of course, Human Torch melts, but it was like there and it's gone. So yeah, and then like even Karate Mike's there, like, well, that wasn't really long enough. They're both there like, well, that was a little bit like, wasn't on long enough to kind of like give a showcase. So we'll do some coverage on that, hopefully at a later date with it. A little bit of annoyance about Valiant Event Quest. It is the same. That's not the thing that annoys me. It's just there's only a slight and subtle changes. Like the portals and the Paragon people. Like Paragon people are allowed to access to it. That's fine. Okay, I'm cool with that. But the only thing that's changed is portals. There are a few things that I felt could be changed more about the event, but I suppose it is what it is, and it's all about like a high depth of roster. That's the emphasis, as opposed to like, say, I don't know, 3 or 4 fights in, then you do a choice no change. Anyway, I'm not going to get into too much semantics of kind of like saying like what's here, there, and everywhere, because I want to do more dissection into things. Okay, Valiant Event Quest, we know the rewards for that. Of course, you can see that on the screen right now. The side quest, again, this pitched in a very complex way. I think it's meant to be like bounties, but it isn't, or it's something different in some sort of like different way. We'll do a separate video about that one. Use Saga Champions to gain multiversal extraction sample syringes. quest key through solo objective to enter the multiversal pathway weekly quest. At the end of the path, the summoner receives a Mysterium and a variant sequence gate key. Summoners then enter the Vault quest to fight a single boss. Each gate blocks a path with a single fight and a unique reward. We'll cover that, I think, in a separate thing, because I don't want to go into too many details about stuff, because we can just kind of go over like the semantics of things. Okay, Miko Minoru is the new champion coming into game. So we predicted this would be a mystic in any case. If you like tarot reading, then you'll definitely know this champion, or you know some of the things I mentioned with the pentacles. There's a new mechanic of doing heavy attacks to consume health and switch to adrenaline to kind of then get it back, but also sacrificing for things like the Fury passives. There's a Zeal passive, which helps you to stop the adrenaline from decaying, throw an SP2 to do poisons and burns, and put a buff immunity to the enemy. Then do an SP1 to like finish off the enemy, throw a sequence again, SP2 to SP1 maybe. Pre-fights are quite interesting because you can either have a buff immunity at the start, you can either have poison and rupture immunity, or you can choose between burn, which is good to deal with switching poisons to incinerates depending on the enemy you're facing off against. And that pre-fight's can only be used once in a quest, which is a bit annoying. And June 17th for early access, and crystals crystals on the 26th. The more interesting champion that I personally liked, I thought was pretty cool, was Carolina Dean. So Carolina Dean has this really cool element of, if you can put her in a sun, like she puts basically like this kind of sun mechanic on the battlefield. You can see that's in action right now. You can see it right there. And if you like charge up in a heavy attack, you're basically like absorbing sun, similar to like Superman and stuff. And you're able to do a few things. Like, first of all, you're able to parry non-contact attacks, which is great for Shuri and Arnhem Zola, which you saw in the footage right there. Rain came to explain a bit more about the champion, which you can see champions in action there. Your general process is to build up until like you got an SP2, head for the sun, bask in it, throw an SP2 to do passive incinerates, take a special attack from the defender into the block, consume buffs, and you'll get energy vulnerabilities. Finish off enemy with an SP2, which will do some burst damage, and if enemy is still alive, throw an SP1 to kind of finish it off. And if Awaken Signature ability counters a lot of tech with armor champions, with a Pulverize, I think it is, buff. So that was really cool. Kabam also let us know about a Pride event that's on its way to the contest. So, there'll be some free stuff, some stuff that you like. You know, it's an event. I can't find it. There we go. There's the image there. There's the event. And there's a Law Corner on June 6th, but the event runs from June 1st to June 30th if you want to get some free stuff. Anyway, we move on to a rework, surprising rework for the Captain Britain. Oh, and just before, Rain did say that they're working on X23 rework, and that's really it. There's the Captain Britain rework. Sees her have a bit more punch to her, and she works on building much more in the way of prowess. I think she's going to be amazing with Suicide Masteries. So if you've got more of a build around doing special 3 rotations, I think she's just going to be destroying things, but she'll be SP3 rotating a lot of the time. So that's something I'm looking forward to making a video on when she drops. I don't know. Oh, launching June 4th. So I don't know, like maybe I'll get a chance to over when the update goes live, but I think she's going to be amazing. She's got Neuroshock passives. Then you can look for an SP2 rotate with this champion, and then SP2 to SP1 rotation, and in longer fights, yes, the SP3 rotation. She's the first champion potentially that has a exhaustion passive. She's got power efficiency, starts in Safeguard, or has Safeguard for her, and she's in a double track similar to Dazzler, and it's 2 months together, so I'm sure people will look to spend in order to grab her. But we're seeing about how she kind of launches in, because we gave the impression that getting her might be a bit more easier, but I think it's like similar to Cyclops in that you got to spend for it. Same thing with kind of with Dazzler, but yeah, a bit disappointed not to get it for free, but it is what it is, and it's Kabam at the end of the day. Right, we're going to move on. There's lots to kind of go over. So a new eidol has been revealed as well. This is Solvarch. Right, Solvarch's collection, which you can see. Kabam went through these images really quickly. Yeah, this is why I prefer like doing this on via the YouTube, because I can actually kind of like grab the images that I need as I'm going through this. But that's going to be what the I think the chase thing looks like. It's a shatter essence, and then from the next point of acquisition methodology. So this is interesting because of course volume wise needs to be broken down, I think, in a way of like, well, what can you miss out on, what can you not miss out on this, because it's not overly clear. I'd assume, okay, yeah, same as it was before, 12, but you got to spend, like non-spending, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 non-spending. Plus, you've got to as well be top on your game when it comes to gladiator circuit placement, and as well featured stuff like competitive limited. So this is a very rare champion to get. You have to do a lot of work in order to get it if you're non-spending, and it's like pretty unachievable to a degree. But anyway, I'll let people like be the judge of that acquisition type method. We move on to, there is going to be a Steam Fest. There's a Steam Next Fest or whatever it is. You can get involved with that. There's nothing really of high interest to pick up from it. It's just Kabam, like, I don't know, showcasing it via Steam. So there's no stream. It's just on Steam. If you haven't seen Steam, go to the Steam and you'll kind of know exactly what it is. There is going to be some stuff to collect, some rewards, but there's just nothing too spicy with it. So take it with a grain of salt. I think the image is here, but I think this is done in a way that this is a bit misleading. If you're thinking that you're going to go into the demo via Steam and get this stuff here, I don't think that's the case. I think these are part of the objectives that you're doing at the moment or already done in game. So that's, again, like, don't be fooled by that one. There was the Saga correction. So the thing I mentioned a moment ago, like Kabam were talking about, they did a correction to it. So they said here that like coming soon, box correction, Fantastic Force, tiered offer. So it's a tiered offer, randomized. No, choose your own offer. Yes, this is the way you can cash in keys, craft the offer. So it's like a tiered offer thing for the whatever this Fantastic Force doodah is. We'll find out next week a bit more about that one. So the next piece of endgame content was Wheel of Fate. Wheel of Fate is a 3-quest chapter. Each quest is the same, team size of 1, 7 stars only. You get to choose between between the different fights, because there's 12 fights in total. You get to switch between using single champions. Like, you might go from what is a Serpent, and then go to a spiral fight, and you might be like, okay, well, I'll switch in between it to a particular champion. You do get full health if you manage to get yourself through, and the end fight is a Thanos boss. So if you like Deathless Thanos, then you get to fight him again, because, you know, Kabam ideas. The rewards actually seem pretty good. The quest ones, very standard, very kind of like easy to do, and then there's also more spicy ones as you go, with the super spicy ones being quest 3. And in quest 3, there were like a bit of you can see right there, serpents in there, and also that switches to spiral just quickly, which you can see there. So you'll probably get to choose between those particular champions. I don't know how big and how kind of like scary, imposing, and as well difficult it will be, but it's, yeah, interesting to see if that's going to be on Epoch level, because effectively that should be on Epoch level. But Epoch level is more Everest. It's like, I don't know if it's, this is Endgame but not Everest, so yeah, mountain, molehill. We'll have to really see with that. The rewards look good though, so it's nice to kind of grab that as well, especially with that limited selector that you get access to. Okay. There's also Pity System. I think this is Grandmaster's Grace version 2 is the Pity System. I could be wrong with this. No, I am right with this. It's the Pity System. It comes back. There's now less of a unit investment actually getting back the champion, so that's good for those that are high spenders. So again, that's pretty nice to see. We're going to move on because there's so much to kind of talk about. There was a mention of a web store loyalty system change, which is that one there. It's weird that 7-star Incursions Crystalline is in it, but then that's June 9th. We'll try and cover that whenever that goes live to see if there's anything of value or interest for players, especially if you're spenders or not. Especially if you've got ones that, if you're collecting your web store loyalty, does that carry on if you're a non-spending player? Is it not the case? So Kabam did talk about the Radiant store and mentioned that in June 9th for raids and AQ, June 16th is when we'll start seeing Radiance being put into there. For the Alliance Wars, which is up at the moment, mixed feedback. Kabam admitted to that. Battlegrounds, excuse me, hiccups, changes have been done, with more on the way. Still in progress when it comes to the removal of decline accept, the ELO park, DK and parking. All that stuff is being looked into and dealt with. Raids are coming back for a very 1 month raids orientated system with Fantastic Four theming and event quest improvements. New format is coming in July, I think they said. There's also new relics which are here, or you can see some of the dev diary coming in soon for that one. And these are going to work in a way that's going to be like no rune slots to choose. There's just bonuses to attack and defense. Very easy type of relics with a lot less kind of like complexity. Kabam also said that the Fantastic Force recruitment, which is a 2-star focused event, will go live at some point in July, and this will be a type of like competitive month meta, which again very exciting. And the highest ranks will get 7-star feature champion, where the High Evolutionary is teased on this particular slide. I'm just trying to get the exact moment that it appears. Okay, we don't see it, but I've got the image somewhere. It definitely, the High Evolutionary does appear. It's not there, but you can see right here. That's from the image where, yes, there is High Evolutionary right there. High Evolutionary in the selector part there. So effectively, Kabam announced the High Evolutionary, and there's some like cool stuff within the ranks. If you want to go out and get that champion by that means, have at it. And that, I think, concludes it. The rewards are juicy and 7-star featured, yeah, competitive mode. Promo code, we talked about at the start. That's it. That's the live stream recap. Hopefully I managed to condense down 1 hour, 15 minutes of a live stream into, well, maybe about 22 minutes, 23, 24. It depends, because the raw recording is 26 and I've got to edit down some bits. That's it for the live stream recap. Thanks very much for watching. Check out some other content which will be located on screen right now, and I'll see you all soon when we cover some of the topics in more depth, rather than just going, this was what was a live stream condensed from 1 hour 15 to 20 something minutes. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.